Hello, welcome to Remember Me, the show about the sudden rise to fame.
Each week we talk to the people who burst onto our screens.
We talk the highs, the lows, the headlines, and what happens when the attention fades.
From tabloid chaos
to early internet madness.
So where do they go and what are they up to?
I'm Maisie Adam.
And I'm Scott Bryan.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss an update or an episode. This is Remember Me. Welcome back to part 2 of Remember Me with Gareth Gates.
It's like it's another day when it's actually the same one.
I know. The magic of podcasting.
The magic of podcasting. We haven't even moved. It's been a week, a whole 7 days.
No, come on, keep up the illusion. We've had a sleepover.
No. Or you just click the next video and it's just here. Wow, instant. The week never happened. Maisie was pointing out at the start about kind of having essentially a photo of you as on the front page of, was it Smash Hits?
Yeah.
Is it always odd to see your own face back on things? Because you must have been seeing people like your face on people's merch or on walls, on posters. I would imagine if I started seeing that all of a sudden everywhere, a bit kind of, not like self-conscious, kind of happy with how I look, but just in terms of it being surreal and feeling weird that you're on teenagers' walls across the country.
Yeah, that just came with it, and it's strange. You just have to get used to that, and quite quickly. And it's like, okay, it's the moment where they don't start to wear your t-shirt anymore. It's like, wait a minute, what's happening?
Is that quite a tricky thing to deal with? If you can feel or sense a decline after a moment of...
Yeah, I mean, that was the nature of TV shows like that. There's another X Factor the year after. There's another X Factor the year after. And eventually, the new flavour of the month is there, and that's just the sort of nature of the game. I'm just extremely fortunate that I'm still, very, very busy. I'm still working constantly.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because, I was part of that very first one, and it did make massive history.
There was one thing that stood out to me, and it was when Smash Hits dedicated 7th of October 2002 as International Gareth Gates Day.
Yes.
I'm intrigued by, firstly, what is an International Gareth Gates Day? Like, what does it involve? Do you celebrate it? Do you still celebrate it?
Absolutely. I spike my hair on that day.
Why that date? Was it just a random date they chose?
Yeah.
Did they run it by you?
No. I actually didn't have a say on the date, but it was just kind of made the official Gareth Gates Day. And and my fans always used to wear like red ribbons on their on their wrists, and every November when it comes round to that day, there's always something on social media now where they have like,
well, still celebrating it 20 years on.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's super cool. You've won some other wonderful Smash Hits awards. Do you remember any of these? Smash Hits Awards 2002, Best Male, Best Hair,
I love
obviously.
Love that that's a category.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Best
fantastic.
Newcomer, and then this is my favourite one, Most Fanciable Male.
I loved that one.
Yeah. Who did you beat for that one? Can you remember? Who would have that been in 2002? Yeah, of course.
Will, finally I won something.
Yes.
I think I beat Will. Peter Andre was Justin Timberlake.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, actually I beat Justin as well at the MTV Asia Awards for Best International Male.
Oh, that's a flex. That's good.
That is a flex.
He was actually there and he was expecting to win it, and I kind of won it, and I was like, sorry.
This is the rivalry that I wanted to hear about.
That is so good. I hope you went and collected it in double denim just to really rub salt into the wound.
It felt really good to win that one.
Where do you keep your trophies now?
All in my house up north.
Good.
I'm based in London, but I've got a house up north, and they're all there. My mum kind of polishes them every day, bless her.
I like that they're on display proudly. Like you've got, it really annoys me when I've seen interviews before with people who have a who win awards and they're like, oh no, I think like it's in my manager's office somewhere. No, get it on the
What
fireplace.
we have in our house is that my flatmate's got a BAFTA. It's not even his.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
great,
where
though.
it turned up
You're
as.
gonna
It's
flex
just in the loo.
I have to say, I do hide the best hair one because that's a bit
No,
embarrassing.
Come
you
on.
bring up Peter Andre now. I'm like, he was copying your haircut. You were the ones with the.
That's where we got it from.
Yeah, absolutely. That era, the because we're bringing up 2002 there, but from 2000 to 2009, the noughties, 3 of your singles were listed in the top 100 singles of the decade on Radio 1. Like, does that must really give you a sense of pride to know that you were so placed within the musical landscape of a lot of people's, well, like certainly as a millennial, a lot of people's like soundtrack of their growing up years.
Yeah, that's a great feeling now, even all those years. I think I still hold 2 Guinness Book of World Records for the youngest UK male solo artist who got to number 1
Yeah.
at the age of 17, and the most amount of number 1s within a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, do you
nice.
sometimes feel, Gareth, that like that you don't get the recognition you deserve for that? Because like I think a lot of people wouldn't know that there's 3 of those singles in that landscape. Do you sometimes get frustrated that people go, it's Gareth Gates from Pop Idol, rather than this person who has success all over the globe?
Yeah, the pop industry can be quite fickle like that.
Yeah.
You're on everybody's walls. You're on everybody's walls 1 minute, and then the next year there's somebody else. I just understood that that's how it is and how it works.
What's your relationship like with the press? How have you been able to navigate that over the years? Because again, that noughties period, the press were particularly, I think, relentless and very kind of aggressive in the style of the headlines that they'd go with.
But also, you're not able to give a right of reply, really.
Yeah, with no sort of
social media had not really
That's right,
developed.
Of course, yeah.
That was just part of it all, I guess.
Yeah.
And, I went through so much hell as a kid with my stammer that it kind of, hardened me to everything that was about to become, and, what people said about me in the press. And, I'd heard a lot worse as a kid. And so, it was, you build a resilience there, and it's like, I can handle anything.
Do you think things would have been easier, or are you grateful that social media didn't exist when you had your sudden rise to fame? Better or worse?
Yeah,
do you think?
The press, I think, was a lot harder on you then. But yeah, I think it's possibly sort of harder these days because everybody has a voice now. So it's not just the press. It's people who sit at home and with nothing better to do than just to pull people down, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Scott.
No, I mean, I was saying, like, were there any stories in the press, like, what is the maddest story you've seen in the press when you were in those years?
I was 17 at the time. I turned 18. I started to drink. I started to go out. As you do. And there was always a pap. Waiting outside whatever pub I was in, whatever club I was in, and they always got the photo with me looking like. But it was like, that's what everybody's doing at that age.
At that age, it'd be weird if you weren't doing something like that.
Yeah, but the headlines were like, oh, he's going off the rails. No, I was just having the time of my life, and it was the best time.
Yeah, of course.
To be able to do what you want, have what you want. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed to drink then. I mean, I don't really sort of drink too often these days. I have the odd blowout. But
Yeah.
that was a time where I was really, enjoying being pissed, and it was fun.
Of course, but there's also an element there though of like you're doing what every normal young lad does at that age, except you're doing that against a backdrop of course, like attention that comes with being a celebrity, but also I think you were kind of portrayed on Pop Idol by the press as being this kind of like sweet, squeaky clean,
That's right.
and so therefore you're battling an image that you haven't even asked to be, but they've put it on you.
Yeah, and you felt that pressure at times, of course. And a lot of my fans were sort of very, very young girls, who looked up to me. But I wasn't, I was just down the local pub having a few drinks, and they just so happened to get this angle.
Yeah.
And me leaving the pub, and then you're like, oh God. Anyway.
It's is it quite funny, like sort of seeing your fans now, because they're grown up, they've probably got children of their own, and like are they still screaming and ripping the t-shirt off?
I hope not. I
Yeah.
hope they're buying you shirts.
Yeah.
As to say thank
actually,
you.
I'm touring with a brand new show called Boy Band in the Buff.
We're not going to lie. We're not going to sit here and lie and say we haven't seen the posters, Gareth.
You've seen
They're
it.
very impressive.
I mean, phenomenal workout.
He's been down the
by
gym.
way.
He's been down the gym. Don't worry about it.
Can you send me your workout? How often do you go to the gym a week?
Every day.
Every single day?
Yeah,
we can
it's
see.
become therapy now. It's not only about vanity. It's about, just kind of staying focused. And but yes, in answer to your question, they are now allowed to come and rip off tops, and they do.
It's encouraged even.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's a very fun show. Boy Band in the Buff. We perform all the big boy band hits of the 90s and noughties from bands like Backstreet Boys, Westlife, and Sync. Take That, Blue, to name only a few, but with a small element of strip. And
so, do you strip during the song, or is it that people rip it off during, or what's the?
I mean, it's a full sort of 2-hour show, so we have lots of costume changes, and the idea of the show is that we come on fully clothed in lots of layers, and then as we sing a song, we take off a layer, a layer. We only go down to our boxer shorts, but the end of Act 1, we do a shower scene in a pair of Speedos.
Oh my word.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of the show, it might get a little more cheeky.
I say. I think I'm following your school of thought there, Gareth. But I mean, that's all of the artists you've just referenced there, of the songs you're covering, Backstreet Boys, and I dread to think the tour's budget on hair gel there. That is true. Is it nice to revisit that era?
Actually, the budget for baby oil is even
oil, of
more.
course.
I mean, that is the ride on the baby oil.
Absolutely. Just suitcases.
Just layer it up.
Is it hard
It's like
to
a slip
sing?
and slide backstage.
Is it hard to sing when you're also simultaneously stripping? Because I can imagine like trying to take your clothes
The
off.
multitasking.
Yeah, the muffling over the mouth would be my main concern. Or what if my jumper gets caught in my trousers? This is why I'm not doing the same thing.
This is why
Maisie.
you didn't get the role.
This is why I applied.
Just hopping around trying to get his trouser leg off.
On a normal day, it's hard enough.
It's everything. It's a very complex show because when you're singing, dancing, and stripping, and also, what do you do with the mic when you're taking your top off? And it's all orchestrated and choreographed down to a T, and it's a real fun show. When I was creating the show, I didn't want to create anything that was crass, seedy, or in any way like make it stop. But it's just fun, and the audience know every lyric to every song. They're all singing along, and it's fun.
And as a transition, how is that compared to SAS Who Dares Win?
I'm a lover, not a fighter. But if I'm forced into a situation, I'll hopefully be able to handle myself. Go! Get into it! Dance off! You are giving up! Fight! Turn him!
Turn him! Turn him! Don't give up! Get in! Well done, Turn! Get onto him! Throw him! Turn him! Throw him! Get in there! Aggression!
There's quite a difference in environment, isn't there?
Yeah.
I guess got still a lot of physical fitness.
Yes.
But
yeah, I mean, it was
you know.
I've worked out a lot since the age of 30, so for the past 10 years or so. But it was SAS that really give me that sort of kick up the backside to really take it to the next level. And being a part of that show was incredible. It was the best and the worst experience of my life. They really know how to push you to your limits on every level, emotionally, physically, mentally, and But I on that particular series, I was the only person that passed.
Yeah.
The only person.
The
that
only
passed.
person that passed.
Yeah, I beat Matt Hancock in the final.
Congratulations on the 7. You passed this course.
Thank you, Stan.
Enjoy that moment. Guys.
Well done, you too. Wow. Thank you so much.
You can call us what you want now.
Thank you. Wow, God.
Go on, Gareth.
I mean, that is
Go on, Gareth.
Go on, son.
Yeah.
that deserves an award in itself, does it not?
It does.
And it was actually that show that really made me take fitness to the next level, which then that's where Boy Band in the Buff was born.
Yeah.
What did it teach you about yourself? That you're more resilient than you think, or that
Yeah.
life is short and that you've got to really make best use? Like,
Yeah, there were times where you really pushed to your limits, and you have to tap into those darker places. I was badly bullied at school because of my speech, often kind of held down in the playground and beaten by the boys, and just it
Awful.
was terrible. And so in those moments in SAS where it got really kind of too hard, I just found myself going back to those times and thinking to myself, nothing is as bad as that. These DSs, who were some of the toughest men you'll ever meet, were like pussycats, in comparison to the bullies at school.
But isn't that wild how, I mean, I'm so sorry it happened to you, but isn't that wild in terms of how school can be some of the most terrible times?
Yeah.
More harder than actually situations as an adult with
Yeah.
people whose job it is to essentially yell and make
Yeah.
you go through very hard physical things.
Yeah, that's it. And school and those hard times, kind of made me the person that I am today. It gave me a very thick skin, made me very, very, very resilient. There's not, sort of too much that can be said to me or done to me that,
Yeah.
will ever compare to that level of, kind of upset.
It feels like it's also given you an incredible kind of adaptability to new challenges and new
Yes.
kind of arenas of the industry, like being able to kind of seamlessly go from pop sensation to musical West End star. Like that felt, well, it certainly looked. Did it feel quite an easy transition for you?
Yeah, I mean, theatre was something I always loved anyway.
I was going to ask, were you a musical theatre kid?
Yeah, the first thing I ever did at the age of 8 was Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Sorry, it's got cramp.
I was
Oh no.
sorry.
Talk about physical fitness.
I was going to say, literally just after we've asked him about
Stretch it
SAS. So what's that? You're finding sitting a bit difficult, are you? Yeah. Yeah.
It's the bit that's going to get in. This is when I'm
Yeah, exactly.
showing my
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just asking Gareth about what it's like to rip your kit off in front of hundreds of women
And I'm
put
like a
yourself through
75-year-old
SAS.
man unable to sit properly.
Incredible.
So that is, yeah, apologies for that.
No
You were
worries.
telling us about, so Joseph Technicolor, how old were you when you did this?
The first thing I ever did at the age of 8 was Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I was a very shy boy with a stammer. I wasn't able to speak very much at all up until that point. My friends were going along to the audition at my first school for Joseph, and I just kind of went along because they were. I was asked to sing, and I was given the role of Joseph, and this kind of changed my world. And then cut to the age of 24, 4. I'm with Angelo Weber in his office, singing the exact same songs I sang then, and he offered me the part of Joseph
Oh my God.
on the West End, which then led on to playing being in shows like Les Mis and Legally Blonde, Footloose, to name only a few. And so that transition from pop star to
Yeah.
musical theatre was always actually there anyway, and it kind of felt like it was full circle anyway. So it was nice.
Can I ask about Spirit in the Sky? Because I remember that
Yes, please.
was a touch point. Because it felt like it shouldn't work in terms of like the Kumar to number 42,
Yes.
and which was a very popular show at the time.
Yeah, massive.
And then, I mean, what was the origin story? Because it was released for charity, but it just
Yeah.
felt like two very different things being blended together and it just working brilliantly.
Yeah, that was Comic Relief. So I had a meeting with Richard Curtis, who said we'd love for you to do the Comic Relief song this year. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
honoured. And because it was for Comic Relief, they found a comedy part to go with the pop star. And it just kind of went so well. We put, the sort of Bangor theme on it. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
and
great.
It just went off, and it went to number 1 for many weeks. And it's a great song. It's the song now that I always perform.
Yeah.
Everybody absolutely loves it. And they all do the actions. Kind of in the
Do you still love it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I'm so pleased I had a sort of up tempo hit, because at every festival I play at now, everyone's waiting for that one. I kind of save it until the end,
Yeah.
and it goes
Gotta
off.
make them, leaving them wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Felt
and it's the this is funny fact, but everyone tells me that they're going to have it at their funeral.
Really?
Well,
because it is, yeah.
Yeah,
It's uplifting
Yeah.
for
It's,
sure.
it's a very uplifting
Yeah.
song. In fact, I mean, what is the thing that people ask you about the most, do you think, from your career? Is it Spirit in the Sky, or is it about Pop Idol, or does it really depend on who it is?
yeah. How did it feel to lose against Will?
Gosh.
Is that literally?
Come on.
For goodness
God.
sake.
Seriously.
Come on. That's so 24 years ago.
Yeah.
What's
Who's
wrong with you?
counting?
And,
Exactly.
And anyway, you won Most Fanciable Male.
Yes,
so
exactly. And
over
best
him.
hair.
Yeah, and best hair. Exactly. Exactly. You did take a bit of a break and reappeared in the 2006 documentary, Whatever Happened to Gareth
Yes.
Gates. Was stepping away, Gareth, from the limelight and the madness of it all, was that a massive help? Was it something that was needed at the time?
Yeah, I purposely did that. It was, I was constantly away. I was away from my family. It was just, utter madness, all over the world. As I said before, when I go to Asia, I was, out there for months at a time. And just to, kind of take some time for myself and just to go, okay, and breathe. And
Yeah.
it was sort of much needed, and then I could sort of reassess and go, actually I want to do some musical theatre next
Yeah.
time. And that sort of really, really helped me in my journey, I think. And I think it's important for people to do that.
Yeah.
As especially when you're in that whirlwind and it just goes round and round and round. To kind of take stock on what's happened and
Yeah.
okay.
And the strength it takes to do that. I think a lot of people, because of the nature of the industry, you feel like you can't. You have to keep going while and that you mustn't stop. It can be quite toxic to ignore that feeling of I'm burning the candle at both ends here.
Yes, and I certainly was at the time.
Yeah.
And to just to have some time for you, I think is very important in this industry.
So are there different techniques that you have to adapt to in theatre to ensure that you can deliver dialogue that doesn't rear its head in performing musical
No,
numbers.
yeah, I mean, I adopt a different way of speaking now to address the stammer. It's a new way of breathing, new way of talking. But when it comes to acting, as soon as I've learnt the lines and I'm, talking in a different accent,
Yeah.
breathing in a different way, walking in a different way, it's just crazy how the mind works.
Yeah.
It just isn't there.
So it's like a kind of, because it's something removed from yourself a little bit, but
Yeah.
also the fact that it's been rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. It's the logic of you knowing what's coming up next.
Yes.
Stops
yeah.
that block getting in the way.
Yeah, it is that, but it's also, I'm not me.
Yeah.
I'm something else. I'm somebody else, and as soon as I escape me, it's crazy. I'm sort of absolutely fine. We announced only a couple of weeks ago. I've actually written a musical called Speechless, and it's about
way.
a guy that can't speak. We're still sort of working on it, and it probably won't be out till next year. But it's really, really powerful, and
Wow.
and again, that's sort of using this platform that I've been given to try and firstly educate people on what having a stammer is. It's not just a repetition of sounds.
Yeah.
It kind of dictates the life that you lead. It controls the person that you are. You can't be, the person that you truly want to be because you're held back and hampered by what you're actually able to get out.
Yeah.
And that's the story that I want to tell. And
Yeah.
and I've written this really powerful musical. So watch this space.
Yeah, wow.
Speechless. It'll hopefully be on the West End 2027.
That sounds wonderful. There's still such a lack of understanding, I think, as well around that. In a broader sense, what are the biggest misconceptions people have about you?
I'm actually extremely funny.
Yeah,
But,
I know. You've been a laugh.
I'm joking.
You are.
But sometimes having a stammer, that's the hardest thing, because I have those witty thoughts. But you know what it's like, in the pub,
Yeah.
sat around with your friends, I get those witty thoughts, but I try to say it, and there's a delay there, and then somebody else says what you've just thought. They get the laugh, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's the most frustrating thing, and I think that's the hardest thing. I am extremely charismatic and fun, but it's quite hard in that situation, because I'm, I can be the quickest to think it, but the slowest to be able to get the words out. And
it's such an internal conflict, isn't it? Because you could be really going through a lot in your own head, but actually the people around you could be absolutely none the wiser. Apart from if you are slipping up in terms of you're finding it hard to say a particular word for a period of time.
The inner turmoil that you go through as a stammer is much worse than what people actually see. As stammerers, we avoid words. So we know a word that's coming up that you absolutely going to struggle on it, and so you have like 10 other words to say in place of that. That can make you sound thick at times, or not very well read, because you're saying words you can say as opposed to the words that you want to say.
Yeah.
Which
And
is hard.
That's so interesting about that group dynamic, as you say, in a pub where there's a real bit going and everybody's coming in and adding to it, and that wave is building, and you've got the words in your head, and you've got something to bring, but and also that timing of, by the time, even if you can get it to you, that moment might have passed and there's a new gag now.
I mean, as you know, comedy is literally all about timing. And if you miss the punchline, or if you wait for even a split second later than where it's supposed to fall, it's everything's sort of ruined. And I'm terrible at telling jokes because of that. I can get the setup out, but the actual payoff line, you've been waiting for hours.
Well, having gone on to achieve all of that you have, Gareth, I do want to ask, what if you could say anything to 17-year-old Gareth who's on that cusp of stardom, what would it be?
That's a tough one, you know. Just be yourself. You know, as a stammerer, we're always trying to be something that we're not. Trying to hide your affliction, when actually, you know, it's not until you you accept who you are and you know, sort of embrace who you are, you know, and start to enjoy the person that you are, you know, that you start to, you know, enjoy yourself, and in turn, you know, I start to help others. When people see me stammering, you know, but also achieving what I'm doing, you know, it inspires people. And so, yeah, just be yourself and enjoy who you are, I guess.
Wonderful. Gareth
Lovely note to
Gates,
end on.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you for that,
What
guys.
a legend. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you never miss an update or an episode.
The thing about it is that we were really subtle.
Really subtle.
And,
really
you know,
subtle.
subtlety really works
Yeah,
between us.
we don't care if you enjoy it or like it, but
I mean, that would
do like and
we
subscribe.
do. We do care.
No, we don't. We're
No, we
really
do.
nonchalant. We're really nonchalant, but
But
do
we're-
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And leave a good review if you want.
If you want.
It's no
But it's no big deal.
It's fine
You don't
either
have
way.
to do it. You
You
don't have
don't
to
have
bother.
to.